Visual IPI, or VIPI for short, is the platform where all apps are launched. You can have different types of repositories. You can have file-based repositories such as the My repository and Site repository, and you can have as many file-based repositories as you like. These are just simply folders, either locally or on a network, and you can share data across a network using the file-based system. There's also a more advanced enterprise version, which is the SQL repository, where the actual data is contained within a database. Let me open up the My repository, and you can see I've set up various folders, and the first one I'm going to right click and I'm going to go and add a part. You'll notice the part has got a status of not started and it's currently red. That will go orange and then green when complete, and there'll be a completion date. The default app that I've got set up with VIPI today is Visual FAIR, so when I double left mouse click it will automatically launch the Visual FAIR software. And the first option that I get is to choose my report style. Now you can set up different types of report styles, and for each customer or supply chain there'll be different specifications for materials and processes and different approved sources. You might have a different approved supplier code. So basically the report style allows you to customize the settings for each supply chain that you're delivering a report into. So I'm going to select the Rolls-Royce report style, which is the demo style, and click on OK, and this opens up a current status report. Now this is in PDF format. In the SQL version obviously you actually get access to the data, but in the file-based version it's a PDF. But this gives you all the information you need to tell you where you're at with your report. So for the Rolls-Royce report style, I can see that these forms are missing. I haven't ballooned anything yet, so the ballooned print's missing. Your company details would appear there. There isn't a report number. There's an optional photograph of the part, and here we've got a part mark verification photograph required by customer, which is set to incomplete. So let's say I've got a copy of that photograph. I could go to the attachment tab, and here's a customizable list per report style of the sorts of things I'm going to attach to my report. Highlighted in red is the part mark verification, so click on the plus and then drill through and go and grab the part mark photograph. So there's my photo which I'm attaching, and it's a JPEG. Quickly view that. So I'm happy that that's going to now be embedded in the report, and that will actually come out on the PDF when we generate a PDF a little later, and you can see that's now set to complete. It could be that I'd just reviewed this particular report and noted that the customer wanted us to send a method of manufacture as part of the first article. So if I just type in required or Fred do this, that's going to come up on the current status, method of manufacture required, and it's currently set to incomplete. So whether something's required, sort of contractually or globally for this supply chain or customer, or whether something is required on the fly, we can make sure that we capture it. Other things obviously are called up on different types of documents, so we can attach images and mark up those images using these markups, and I'm going to show you that next. So I click on attach image, and I'm going to go and grab a finished part drawing. Now the drawing itself is one thing that you could attach and mark up, but you could attach a purchase order or a stage drawing, any kind of document really that you want to mark up. The first markup I want to show you is called material and process. So I'm going to select material and process, and then with a left mouse click I'm going to highlight where it says anodize all over to spec A. Now a right mouse click moves my balloon, and in fact the balloon, let's make them really big. So I left mouse click and then I right mouse click to position the balloon exactly where I want it. Let's just make those a little bit smaller. You'll notice the prefixed S for specification. I'm going to press escape now, and that switches off the quick markup for material and process. Now they're yellow because I haven't set any any materials or processes. So if I double left mouse click, I can add, in this case, a process spec. So I'll go down to the RPS 54, and you'll notice that the form 2 I've preset the name, the actual specification number, the code I've set to not applicable. The supplier code I've got defaulted to Amfin, but I could switch that to a different supplier, and customer approval I've got set to yes, and supplier release note is the title of the document that I'm looking to attach. Now you'll notice the specification, I've not put a revision level against it, so that allows me to go to another system within my business, check the revision level of that RPS 54 spec, and then just manually type that in. Now that means I haven't got to keep specifications up to date in two different places. So when I click on OK, you can see that the color code has gone from yellow to orange. Let me just go and set a few more. So I just simply click add and then select the spec, and then I'm going to add again. I'm going to check another spec off, so let's pick that one there. Okay, I'm not going to bother with the revision levels of those specs. I'm going to check those in a moment. But if you go back to the current status, you can see straight away exactly where you're at. So we've got an RPS 54 here, and there's a missing CFC and supply release note. So let's say that I'd got a copy of that document. This time I drill through the drawing to go and attach it. So I double left mouse click and then click on this button to go and grab the certificate of conformance for that processing, which I can view to check I've got the correct cert. So once I'm happy with that, I then type in the certificate number and then click on OK, and you can see it goes green, and that indicates that that's complete. Back on the current status, we can see the RPS 54 is set to complete, and on the attachment tab underneath the heading Supply Release Note CFC, if I just click on the plus, you can see there's the process cert that I attached as a JPEG. I could have attached it in any format, could have been PDF, TIFF, GIF, whatever, any kind of neutral format you can attach documents in. So what happens to the data? If I go to settings, you can see in the drop down menu the toolbar icons are actually illustrated, or if we go and hover, we can actually hover over a toolbar icon. It tells you what it is. So I'm going to select some standard AS9102 forms, and I'm going to click on OK, and I'm going to go and click Form 2 to show you what we've got completed. Just before I do that, notice that the current status is updated, and it's telling you what required, condition required and optional values are missing from each form, and also what signatures are missing from each form. So if I click on Form 2, we can see that the line items of information, including the one that we've completed, are now on the form. The conditional formatting you've got over here is, it's not going to come out on the final report, but it's using that information to populate that current status document. The next movie I'm going to show you actually grabbing the part number, etc. from the drawing using optical character recognition.